That's why I think this era is just going to be like the era of like kind of mid games. Where like every game is kind of just, it's okay, I'm glad it exists, like I said earlier. But whereas traversing the overworld was easily my favorite part of like Tears of the Kingdom or something, traversing the overworld in this game is definitely not my favorite part. Okay. I think we've done all the tunes. There you go.
I'm getting some strange readings, though.
What, a big worm? Of course. Great. It just had to eat it now, too. Alright, so we will have a fight here, but before I do that...
That creature just swallowed a mech part.
I know!
Get away.
Maybe it'll, like, clog up its digestive system and just give it horrific indigestion and it'll die. Nope. Gonna have to be faster than that. Oh, another one I liked was Xenoblade. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was really good. I enjoyed that. Okay. Power bomb. Oh, y'all could get up here? Okay, that's not what I was expecting. Alright, let's fight this boss. Doesn't look like it's doing too well either.
A sand geyser appeared in Soul Valley. It must be that creature that swallowed the transfer pod.
Can you scan it? No, it's just called the Varmus. Oh, shit. We need more QTEs in Metroid, actually. I kind of like that. We need more opportunities for Samus to just do really badass stuff. That's my favorite part. Like the cutscenes, they got it. Del Lago. I mean, that's a game that's full of iconic moments. Are you kidding me? Imagine being a hardcore 2000s gamer and not playing Resident Evil 4. There are so many trends started because of Resident Evil 4, it's not even funny. You can only log onto it once. Alright, what are we doing here? Oh, maybe we just hit it. Yeah, maybe we just drive into it. Okay. It's one of the few times you actually want to hit something with the bike. Ooh, that was a little spooky. Yeah, okay, we do want to drive into it. Why that deals like a reasonable amount of damage, I have no idea. Uh-oh. It gets away. Does it? Oh, shit! Was that intentional? Oh, yeah, it was. Okay. I was not expecting to get knocked off the bike, but it was for 0 damage, if you can believe it. Shit, I missed it. Darksiders had a boss fight like this, kind of. Well, boss fight might be a little bit of a stretch. You kind of just ride in a circle and shoot its mouth. Excellent. Yeah, you couldn't get a good angle on that. Oh, get the fuck out of here, dude. It's like camping near the edges. There you go. Power bomb. Uh-oh. Oh, no! Indigestion! Pepto-Bismol! Ah! You might be wondering, what the hell did this poor thing do? Wrong place, wrong time. Power cell for a Galactic Federation heavyweight golem. Fully charged, it appears to be undamaged, guaranteeing normal function. Y'all gonna pick it up later? Okay. Where in the desert is this dude? No clue. Another mech part there. Alright, we already cleared that. Let's go back to Flare Pool. Gonna get that last upgrade. And that, after that, it's, what? Well, how many missiles do we have? Low battery. How could it possibly be? Oh, because I unplugged this ages ago. That's actually hilarious. Whoops. Yeah, no, there's 100% reason why it's low battery. Here. We have 200 missiles, so what is that? Another 10 expansions somewhere, maybe? Chrono Tower, I don't know. There you go. 5 power bombs, maybe another 10 if it goes... No, 255 would be 11, sorry. 11 missile expansions, what is it, 10, so another 4 beam upgrades and 1 more energy tank. And it can't be in areas we've already been to, so maybe it is in Chrono Tower. Maybe there's like a couple that you just get. You know, I am glad that there aren't like a ton of racing mini games. That would be that's one thing they put in a lot of games. I'm kind of like, oh, it's time for this again, huh? I see. We're back here. Personally, I'd love a game that explores either the Federation trying to betray the shit out of Samus, framing her for some shit, or a game that explores, well, what exactly happened to the Chozo? You know, like, we know what happened to the Talon 4 Chozo. They kind of transcended this reality. But I'm more interested, what happened to the ones that raised Samus, you know? What if we had a game that really explored, like, Samus trying to figure out, you know, what the hell happened to what was it, Grey Voice? Because that's mostly stuff from the comics, which is really what Other M should have been about. Other M should have just had Samus just... Other M should have been one of those flashback games where, like, you're just doing a CSI of the entire crime scene, and the majority of the game is just a flashback to what Samus did, you know, potentially ages ago. And then you flash forward. Basically Halo ODST. You wake up so late, or rather in this case, Samus has been doing stuff for so long. It's like, oh yeah, I remember coming here. It's a little weird. Here we go. Go in. Not here. Here we go. Okay. We go behind it. Okay. Wait, is there some reason we wouldn't want to go behind it? Ow. Okay, does it ever stop? No, there's nothing there, right? No, okay. Okay, how do we freeze that lava? Is there something we could hit? Yes, okay. So you probably have a limited amount of time to even do this. You actually cannot force your way through. What in the fuck? Okay. Ow, ow, ow. It's a full energy tank, basically. Look at that. This is the weakest you've ever been to lava. That can't be good. Oh. Are you serious? I did all that for nothing. I'm over here thinking you have to freeze it and it's like a time thing. Nope. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, have we had any, like, time morph ball puzzles in this game? I don't think so. That has also been Thanos. Psychic Power Bomb. It's just unfortunate. I can never see Metroid really breaking into the mainstream, you know? And it could be quality, it could be sci-fi. It even sells really well in America relative to Japan. But it just never really does that. It just doesn't have that appeal to people. Federation part, yep. Full restoration appears possible. Oh no, it's a fucking boss fight. After I took all that lava damage. Behemoth. Giant arthropod with 8 legs, 4 independent eyes, and 3 mouths. Its entire body is covered with a mineralized skin layer that neutralizes all firearms. Attacks by rapidly shooting flaming projectiles from its mouth, using oscillation waves to drive enemies away, producing powerful air suction to pull enemies in. Only its eyes are vulnerable to damage. Magdrada Volcano. Its body is covered in a layer of mineralized skin that neutralizes all fires. Those 4 eyes, which are connected directly to the brain via delicate nerves, are vulnerable to damage when open. It is aggressively territorial and will attack anyone that gets too close, either by rushing toward them in an attempt to ram them or through a variety of fire-based attacks. These attacks are fueled by Behemoth creating flammable mixture of air and its own body fluids, which can then emit either in a mist that ignites by striking the ground to create a fiery ring, or as a series of fire bombs. Okay. Well, now I know why it doesn't really do that attack. That's easy to dodge, even if you mess it up. Ow. Why didn't they call this area Magdrada Volcano then? Could have given it a really organic name instead of Flare Pool. Okay, that canceled out my jump. That hit me. This is only fucked up because I came into this fight with 4 energy tanks missing. Yeah, I'm just having a shit time hitting it. Okay, we'll wait for it to open its eye, and this is probably the best weapon for hitting body parts. Since the game doesn't auto-lock onto it too well, probably, you know, so you actually have to aim. Yeah, wow, okay. I'm blind! Help! Okay. Wreckage from the Galactic Federation UTO Research Center on planet Tanamar, brought here when the Lemorn teleporter went out of control. Okay, I don't think it's meant to be anything. Okay, well, here's another part. Maybe we will have to go back to like a couple of areas, you know? What you're finding out is that the typical elemental strengths don't really mean shit in this game. Like, honestly, electricity works better on the fire beetle than ice. And ice works better on the electric enemies. And fire is just good for pretty much whatever. It's okay. Okay. Well, I don't know if we ever found the robot. I think we pretty much have solved most of this area anyway. So I'm going to assume that there's nothing there. Like, we could get back into the volcano heart, but I don't think there's a reason to. Alright, so we'll leave. Let's look in the room on the left really quick, though. Anything? Scoutbot wasn't in here, was it? Okay, they are effectively indestructible. Hang on. Diffuse oscillation blast wave of psychic energy. Whoops, I keep trying to summon the thing. Very nice. Waste material from the energy facility. Disposal through burial instead of anything else. Whoop. Hello, gentlemen. Ow. All over a beam upgrade, too. Good evening, gentlemen. Yes. Alright, we'll save. I ain't fighting all this. Get out the way! Alright, with any luck, we won't have to come back to Flare Pool. Okay, so where is this dude exactly in the desert? You know he's gonna be on some random dusty dune or someplace you would never look. Although, to be fair, what I should do is I should actually, go back and deposit all my green energy. Let's see. Where is he?
There could be something useful in the desert to move the transfer pod.
Okay.
Tokabi is out in the desert, so you may want to ask him about it.
Where the fuck is he? You know that doesn't narrow it down at all, right? Unacquired item. Where is he? Unacquired item, mech part. Tokabi's out in the desert. Okay, well, could I radio Tokabi? Why is this asshole the only guy I have radio contact with? Which we know that he's not. We've spoken with Armstrong and, what was it, Sarge. Timu, Wish.com, Sergeant Johnson. Okay, I'm not trying to be mean. He's probably my favorite, just because he's like an established Galactic Federation guy. I know. I'm being unfair. Oh, he's here. What? How the fuck were you supposed to know that he's here? You know what it is? Maybe he spawns at certain places. So, because, whatever. I don't even know, man. That's weird to me.
Samus, please, join me. Do you feel that? Dry wind blows across the land. The sound of the breeze and the voices of the creatures that dwell here remind me of home. My family comes from a long line of hunters. Hunting is how we survived. Like my father and grandfather before me. Now, when I catch the scent of game in the wind, I remember those who came before. Anyway, I lose myself. I found something near the cargo launcher. I kept it, thinking it'll be of use to you. Here.
The teleporter chip. Chip designed by the Lemorne. Oh boy. Here I was thinking we were going to carry it or something. No.
If we can fix the mech, we can bring down the force field around Chrono Tower. Also, how you doing with the hunt for green energy crystals?
They are really telling you, man. They really want you to upgrade. They're like, hey, if you haven't done it, you might want to consider it. Okay. I mean, how are we doing? Dude. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. We need to hit up all those big rocks in the desert. Because there has to be a better way to farm this, right? Than to just drive around for like 10 hours at the end of the game. There has to be a better way to do it. Especially since you can't even see the amount. Like, that's something... I don't know, man. Like, maybe they just ignored the QA testers, but there's no way somebody played this game to completion, right? They tested it fully, and not a single person was like, hey, could we have like a counter on the gems or on the green crystals so I know how many I have? You know, like, that's one of those things I'm like, wait, y'all missed that? Like, that's the first thing I thought, is like, wait, how do I know when I'm full? You don't. You're just supposed to figure it out. If you, yeah. I know. I'm gonna find, how did no one complain about this shit? Yeah, that's gotta be worth a lot, right? You know what's funny? These are actually marked on the map. Oh, wrong one. We just go for the big ones. It's like there's some over here. mean, who knows how far away this is. We've seen so many of these, though, which is exactly why I want to hit them up. Maybe, like, bombing the rocks. Maybe the rocks respawn. And it's just the most worthwhile thing to do. Oh, Lord. I'm gonna hate myself. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fill this all the way to the top. It seems like this is the final level that we have to fill it. So I'm gonna drive around and fill it up. I mean, I'll let you know if it takes me a long time. It probably won't, but I'm gonna run to the bathroom first. Okay, so it hasn't even been that long, but I just wanted to point out that on the map, these big ore deposits all have, as you can see, like little crystal icons instead of just the usual circles. So that is something that they show. But my thing is, like, is this really all I'm supposed to do? Like, just drive into stuff? Or drive to these things, blow them up, and just blow up a whole bunch of them? Like, did they really put a farming step in a Metroid game? Like, the only farming a Metroid really should have is, like, pickups. Now, is this giving me good progress, at least? It's, like, subpar. Yeah, I don't know. Like, am I missing something here? Or is this just, they just threw this fucking part in? I don't understand. It's one of those weird things about this game that I can't tell if I'm just missing something about it, like this is just supplementary and not what I'm actually supposed to do, or what, because I never figured out what the item was here either. And there is an unacquired item here. Okay, please leave, thank you. Because I feel like we have most, if not everything. So the only thing I could think is that it's going to be the teleporter chip. Because there is nothing here. Nothing. So either Tokabi moves and that allows us to get other things, or something. I don't know, man. Yeah, this is basically what I'm assuming you have to do, since he keeps mentioning green energy. Now, maybe I don't need to fully max it out, but if you're gonna spam it at me that much, I'm probably gonna take it to heart, like, yeah, maybe I should max it out. If the game is constantly nagging me about it, which is basically just any Mackenzie call. Now, maybe there's just enough of these big rocks that this is all you need. But do we really want to have a system where you need 100% of random things in the overworld to progress the story? And this is why I wasn't mad at Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild when they have like 1,000 Koroks, because they don't really expect you to get all 1,000 Koroks. What they do expect you to do is maybe encounter like 100, 200, right? That's reasonable, right? That's like kind of fair. But 1,000 Koroks? No, they don't expect you to literally pick up every single rock on the overworld. Like, that's nuts. That's insane. That's for the really, really hardcore people. And, like, don't get me wrong, that's some shit I would do. Right? Like, I like 100% in games I'm a fan of, you know? But, like, this is just a fetch quest. And then you get annoyed by this dude constantly while you do it. No, I don't think I have to, right? Like, why don't I wait? If I go back and I turn this in now, am I going to get anything for it? I mean, maybe they're saying it, so maybe I will. Let's go get this item over here first, and then we'll go back. I don't know. Because normally it has the pop-up on the... Oh! Never mind, it filled up instant... What? What the fuck are you talking about? It filled up instantly. I'm so lost. I don't understand how any of this shit works, seriously. I am very confused by how the green energy shit works. Largely because there's no gauge. There's no way to count it. Now these dudes are gonna harass the shit out of me. Screw attack? Okay, let's just get out of here. I'm not here to mess around with these dudes. I like how they're all faster than you, too. Every single enemy's faster than you. You basically cannot outrun them. You have to go extreme distances to make them de-aggro. What is this asshole even doing? Alright. You know, like, here's what you can do in a game like this. Because that you know people are going to care about the lore, right? So one of the things that pretty much any game should do with its overworld is it should give you a reason to kind of care about it. You know, especially in a game like Metroid where most of the storytelling is, and I will say it again, environmental, right? They could have scans, some lore in Soul Valley, some ruins that dot the place, right? You know, it doesn't have to be, hey, you know, the Chozo came and we did this and we spoke or whatever, right? It doesn't have to be all that. But it could just be something like, hey, here's our people, we did this, really elaborate on it. Like, I don't think the Olympics mention the Chozo at all. I don't think they do. And that's a DS game, and I feel like it has maybe a better plot than this game. I feel like they definitely treated it with more reverence. I don't know if that's exactly the best word for it. Like, actually figuring out what the ultimate weapon is such an interesting, you know, just plot design. You know, you have everyone's lured by this promise of power, right? Turns out the ultimate weapon is not something to claim. But, you know, I like that. The worst part about that game is you have to either use the face buttons to look around or the stylus. And that's why I think it's a perfect candidate for, like, an enhanced remaster. But now I'm asking them to remaster a Metroid game from 20 years ago. Yeah, probably not happening. Okay.
Almost got it.
Will my arm be functional? Ow.
I think so. Yeah, I can probably get this fixed.
I
Okay.
believe Specialist Mackenzie will be able to fix my arm.
Well, hello there, stranger.
The other one's lost. I mean, hey, it's better that than death, I guess.
I'd love to see the chip myself.
Oh my god, we're here! Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Look at the fucking ship.
Take a look. Oh, I wonder what this is.
Oh my hecking science.
Let's find out. Teleportation technology? No way! You know, we were analyzing something like this back at base. I have an idea. Yeah. And a little bit more.
What, 6 pods?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. And there. It worked! I did it! This is a teleporter patch, and I've entered our coordinates here as the destination.
So it'll teleport things, okay? Teleporter patches. Instantly teleports patched objects. These may be used only with mech parts for the GF Heavyweight Golem Mech Mark 99. The teleport destination is set to base camp. 6 patches are available. Well, we already know where most of this stuff is, so now we're just gonna ride around and grab it.
Mech parts. These patches will let you teleport them directly to base camp. I mean, I can't take all the credit. The Lemorn really nailed short-range teleportation, but just put my own spin on it.
I don't care. I wouldn't even nod if I was Samus. Like, I get Samus is not going to let these people die just for no reason. And maybe she's a little bit more human than Doom Guy, right? Doomslayer is just on some next level shit. But I wouldn't even nod. Bro, you have to do it. It's the mission. I mean, yeah, it sucks. We're sending a bunch of random troopers, you know, to do whatever. Alright, so what are the plot twists gonna be? Is Rieger... sorry, is Tokabi is Tokabi just Silux without his suit? Are we gonna find out that's his alias? Like, I'm trying to think, like, what's gonna be the plot twist, you know? Like, are we going to have a big one? There's no way we don't, right? That would be really funny. Because Silux looks humanoid. He just stole tech. No, but there's no way, right? Because Totabi is an active member of the Galactic Federation. There's no way. Okay. Oh, yes. Legacy suit and the memory fruit. The memory fruit is the legacy of the Lemurian. It is a database containing all of their accumulated knowledge and history. The legacy suit is a power suit designed by the Lemurian that can generate a protective barrier. To activate, switch to the psychic visor and press and hold R to generate the barrier. This consumes 35 missile ammo. Energy will deplete faster as it absorbs attacks. The barrier damages enemies that touch it. I'm never going to use this, am I? Okay, it's like hyper mode a little bit. Can we still give crystals by any chance? Is there anything else, or is that it? Memory fruit is growing. The altar is unfolded. Green energy crystals can continue to be offered until it becomes completely full. Okay. So you can fill it up again. I mean, we're going to be riding around anyway. Okay, let's go. Obviously, this isn't the most thrilling endgame hunt. And it's deactivated when you go into Morph Ball, okay. Whoa, Samus, is that another new suit?
Welcome back.
Okay. I like this. This is just the light suit again. I think the light suit is a little better. It just has those flashlights on the front. This is like a little bit of a better front. It's sleek. The design is nice, actually. It's a shame it's part of a grindy side quest.
Never underestimate an old war dog. In times like these, our strength truly shines.
Okay. Oh, he did get a new arm. What? Where was it?
I am glad my high-frequency vibration generator...
They spawned a new item for him, or a new arm. Okay.
Broken frame completely repaired. Topped up on all your fluids. Steering might be out of alignment, but otherwise looking good, Corporal Takabi.
I'm not one of your mechs.
Same difference. The human body's got tubes and coolant and a power core, too.
Please stop.
I see. When's my next oil change?
You're good for another 10,000 miles.
I hope you die. Also, A should definitely have been used for... I've already complained about that. Again, this Joy-Con shit is tiring. Like, what's the point of having, you know, grip buttons if every game doubles up on buttons anyway, you know? Like, we have grip buttons on the Pro Controller, but every single game doubles up on buttons regardless. So let's ride around. We're gonna pick up all the items. Yeah, it doesn't have the same appeal as like the artifact hunt, because if you know where the artifacts are, you could get there ahead of time. Here, the items are just there, and you just can't pick them up until the story demands you do it. It just kind of takes away from like the player agency a bit. All right. That was a crazy combination of actions. See, like, I'm thinking to, like, Wind Waker, right? And already, if I have to think to a literal 23-year-old game, right? Like, Wind Waker kind of does this a little bit. Oh, Lord.
Did you ever collect that mech part from the giant sea creature you killed?
I hate you.
Those parts to complete the mech.
No, I thought we didn't. I was just fucking around, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? How do you? I guess you don't get up here then. There we go, chest protector. Mech part. Base camp has received one of the 6 parts. He bounced off my head. Where is it? Because I want to figure out where the item is for this. Okay. Yeah, like, you know, the whole Triforce hunt, and I'm going to be very uncharitable for a minute. I'm going to use the GameCube version. Now, if you know the difference between Wind Waker on the GameCube and Wind Waker on the Wii U, that's one of the primary differences, is that at the end of the game, you don't have to pay for every Triforce chart to be deciphered. You only have to pay for, was it 3? It was a massive change because it meant you no longer had to grind money to beat the game. And that's one of the things, like, even that feels just a little bit more powerful burst of beam energy. Here we go. I will do this wrong to the end of the game. Like, it's just too restricted, man. I think that's probably the biggest thing. There you go. Grapple. Like, every Metroid Prime game is linear, but this is, like, painfully linear with the facade of an open world game, which I think might make it worse, genuinely. Like, oh, you could tackle them in any order. Okay, not really. You're supposed to go to Ice Belt. So why even tell me you could go to them in any order? You can't get to the mines. What's the point of going back? Like, it's just... It feels like this was 2 games, a little bit. On one hand, they wanted a really difficult Metroid Prime game, and then on the other hand, they wanted a game that was really, really newcomer-friendly, you know? And generally, those 2 things don't go hand in hand very well. Dude, what the fuck could possibly be here? Seriously. And it's right here. It's like right inside of this pillar. But there is literally nothing to scan here to indicate that anything happens here. So I don't know. That's the weirdest pickup in the game. There is nothing to indicate that you could do anything with it. Oh, we have to go north here. Notice how none of these things are really active anymore. All the crystals are dried up. Also, I'm getting the sneaking suspicion there's no screw attack. I mean, I'll stand by it. I still think it's better than Prime 3. That Wii era for Metroid is exactly how I guess people would feel about this. It's like, oh, here's a okay game, and then there's Other M. Oh my god. Right, back out. You also don't have to stop the game every 5 seconds like this, we know. Maybe on the first one, sure, but, like, look, I know what it is. I know what I just did. It's like with the beeping. Oh, your health is low! Your health is low! And it's like an alarm clock. You know, even Pokemon, think about that. Even Pokemon, I think in Gen 5, stopped permanently beeping your health in the red zone. Because even they got too many complaints like, dude, this is fucking annoying. Even, I think Zelda doesn't do it. They brought it back for Metroid. If you remember, low energy on Metroid Prime 1 makes a noise, but it's not nearly like this game. I think, right? I forget what it sounds like on Prime 2 and Prime 3, though. I mean, is there any reason at all to increase our green energy yet again? It's gonna be me driving around for 20 minutes trying to figure out what I'm missing and what I need to get. And then I'll make a save file and never do it again. But you know, that might be one of the most realistic things I do, because even in Mario Sunshine, I don't redo blue coins. That shit's ridiculous. That is another game that needed more than just a remaster. And the remaster is great, don't get me wrong, I love it. It's one of my favorite games, again. But blue coins is something I did once as a kid and pretty much never again. And then I lost that save file because my memory corrupted. Trust me, you're, like, I don't think anyone does it legitimately. And that's my new thing about a lot of these hunts, is that they need to be organically done in the game, you know? Like, if you're just gonna look it up, like, they should have systems where you're not incentivized to, you know? Because I would be 100% incentivized to look up a lot of this stuff. Now, Prime 1 and 2, there is a literal room in the game that you are forced to go to, in Prime 2 at least, where they tell you, hey, this is where all the stuff is. So, like, okay, well, now I know where it is. Prime 1, you don't have to do it till the end of the game. In fact, I've done that before, where the last artifact you get is the first. Electric current. Hands off. And really what I'm trying to say with that is that this is not any better or worse necessarily than an average game, but that's the problem, because games made in 2002 and 2004 kind of like figured this stuff out years ahead of even people making video games today, you know? And I think that's significant because it should be really, you know, just thought about, applauded, that they were that cognizant of what makes a hunt. Oh shit, I never found this. Wow. There you go. 85% scans. We're only missing 2 creatures on Vuros. Nothing for Silux forces. 1 Galfed. We have every machine. We're missing a bunch of lore. I don't know where I would find that. And we're missing 1 research. The only thing I could think is that maybe there's 1 final upgrade to get. Because you can't launch yourself onto that, right? No, there's no jump button. Yeah, so what? I'm very confused by this. As usual. Nothing. So yeah, maybe there is 1 final upgrade. Like the screw attack might be in this game and it might be the last thing that you get. Okay, well, I'm not gonna waste time there. Yeah, I've never been back here. By the looks of it, I don't think I missed anything. So it's like if you want to do an open world game, you have to make the open world really feel good, right? So like Metroid's strength is literally the scan visor, right? You don't need to have long-standing cutscenes to, you know, portray anything in this game. In fact, you really don't have to do... I'm gonna say you don't even have to do too much, right? Okay, I'm free aiming. Oh, Lord. I think the super missile charge time is a little bit long. Yeah, like, you don't have to do much. You just leave some stuff, leave some lore, right? Have someone really write it up, dress it up real fancy, and boom, suddenly there's a reason to go in there. You know, maybe have a couple missile expansions thrown there, here and there. Okay. Because there's no other visors in this game as well. So, like, a lot of things that aren't in other Metroid games just aren't in this game at all. Thankfully, beam stacking doesn't count. But yeah, I don't know, man. In the last of our days, we were 13 survivors. Having deciphered the prophecy at Chrono Tower again, we learned that the Chosen One will come from outside. But when? We could not afford to wait. With the aid of the Master Teleporter, 12 of us left Vuros to find the Chosen One. I remained behind, for it was my duty to protect the Master Teleporter. For security, there were 5 keys to the Master Teleporter. I entrusted the 5 keys to those worthy of being guardians. They will be protected, given only to the Chosen One. All that is left is to await your arrival. It is impossible to know for certain if that day will ever come. And yet, I believe. I pray for your safe arrival, Chosen One, so that I might be here to greet you myself. So that's it. You just get a little story, which is good, but like, you know, you could have more of those. Because this is me really going out of my way, mostly just because I want to see what happens if you fill up the the green energy converter, like all the way. Oh, here we go. I wonder if it's like one final upgrade to the psychic beam. Hilarious. I mean, it's filling up. It's just one of those things. It's going to take a long time. So maybe what I do is I get something to eat, drive around for like, I don't know how long. Maybe I'll try to like record it. No, sorry, I'll make mention of it. Let's go stick all the teleporters on, and then I guess I'll take a break, because I have been playing for about 3 hours anyway. What's also cool is sometimes when the space pirates just speak, like when the Omega Pirate yells for reinforcements, I don't need to know what he's saying to know what he's saying, you know what I mean? Shit, I missed it. This better not be a 100% hit every crystal at least once thing, by the way. I'll be actually pissed the fuck off. Because it's starting to seem like most of these crystals have been hit at some point. And I don't know if they're coming back or not. I mean, I guess that, you know, there's no way. That would be insane. I missed. Okay. And where are the other ones? Let's see. Wait. What? 4 out of 6? Where's the last one? That's the item I couldn't get. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, shit. Where's the last one again? Wasn't it in one of the areas? Oh, yeah, it's in, yeah, we gotta go into Flare Pool. Okay. So let's go down here, because there's a mech part down there. I totally forgot about it. It's in Flare Pool. Or maybe we should go get it in Flare Pool first, because you know they're going to have some dialogue for me. Oh, shit, hold on. I'm under attack, by the way. Our base is under attack! That would be so funny if you actually have to get 100% green energy. I mean, look, it's technically better than Mario Sunshine because you don't have to guess or try to figure out how many coins are in each level, or rather which ones you've gotten and which ones you haven't. It's technically better. All they do in Mario Sunshine is tell you how many you've acquired in each level. But heaven help me, that would be so bad. That would be like life-ruiningly bad. You missed this tiny cluster of crystals halfway across the map. Now drive for 5 minutes to get to it. Alright, we do have to go a little bit in. Hopefully this is the last time I ever have to come in here. I'm probably not getting the 100% because I don't know where the bot is in this area. That's the one thing I don't know, and I don't want to run back in. I'd probably just look it up. Where's the scout bot and flare pools? Because I doubt there's any missables, right? I doubt, you know, once you do the whole tram thing, I don't think that there's anything that you're missing there. I hope. Oh, can't open. I get what I fucking deserve. It's still not dead? With multiple super missiles. Dude, is the super missile ass or what? Four super missiles, still not dead. Five super missiles. Six. Seven. It takes 7 super missiles to kill this fucking thing. Are you out of your mind? I feel like this is just better. Okay, well, he could still hit me, so no, that's a lie. Like, look at that. That's way better. What in the fuck is going on? Okay, 5 of 6. Alright, so lesson learned. Don't come here until you have the teleporter patches. The mini-boss was actually better and more fair than that, so don't do that. Yeah, like, there's just certain rooms you just don't even want to go into at all. You want to save it for later, as late as possible. Alright, like I said, we're not going back into Flare Pool. These enemies are obnoxious. I'm good. So we'll go get the last mech part. And then unless some big story event happens, I'll probably stop there for a bit, go get something to eat. Chill, rest my voice a bit. And then we'll probably just play through to the conclusion, because that's gonna be it. We'll actually do Chrono Tower. This feels like a Zelda game a little bit, minus like the puzzle, like the setup feels kind of like a Zelda game. We decided to drop Link in some random place. I mean, those are sometimes the best Zelda games. Hey, Link is just in some weird location and it has very little to do with the main Zelda plots. Like Majora's Mask, the Oracle games, Link's Awakening. Sometimes Link being an isekai hero sometimes works out really nicely. Okay. It seems like some of the crystals are sparse. Is it? Is it really sparse now? I just wanted to get it. I don't care. Oh no. I know! Dear fucking Jesus Christ, dude. Can you fucking turn this dude's dialogue off, dude? For results in forfeiting some in-game rewards. Okay. Tutorials off, dude. I don't even know if that's it. Enough, man. Fuck's sake. It's not gonna stop him. Like, he should only say that if you boot the game. If you save, if I were to save and quit now, and he says it, okay, that's fine. You know, maybe someone takes a break, right? You come back a couple months later, you have no idea what you're doing. Okay, that makes sense. Because they see all these motherfuckers on TikTok, dude. The rest of us have to pay the damn price. I mean, okay, it's not even all just TikTok. That's like a portion of it. Like, I don't know what it is. Since COVID, some gamers I know have just become the most, like, bitch-made, like, I can't be helped, any amount of work is too much work type motherfuckers I've ever seen. And you get it a lot on a bunch of different games. I don't know if it's Battlefield, COD, Final Fantasy. It's like, bro, what do you want? Everyone wants to be diamond rank and not put in the effort to be diamond. God damn, okay, blew his ass away. You gonna jump up here? Trying to figure out where, again, get the item. There it is. Surge of electricity. I knew it had to be something. Oh, those last couple ones, I could only imagine how annoying it's going to be to figure those out. Are you fucking... You're an idiot. I wish you would just actually, like, die in the end. Don't even heroically sacrifice yourself. Like, stumble and fall, please. Missed it. And while you do, please say Anaxu Amun. Anaxu Amun! That was the day he found out she was for the streets. And that nod that he gives to Rick is like A complete bending of the knee, like, motherfucker, I did all this and this is how she treats me? Yeah, you won. Goodbye. Just an acceptance, like, damn, I'm broken, dude. You won. I'm tired of this. We won't have a round 3. It's a shame, man. Like, I like The Mummy, but that third movie was not it. And, I mean, does anyone even remember they made a 2017 movie? No. Oh, great. They are double teaming the shit out of me. What a shame. That's a movie series I wish had more. Yeah, I am going to be Mr. More because it was good. That's some of the earliest movies I used to watch. We had them on VHS. Jurassic Park, The Mummy. We had some stuff for kids. But I don't know, like, I as much as I like some kid-friendly things, right? Even as a kid, I liked more mature things. Phantom Menace. I used to love Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace and not Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones was kind of whatever. I kind of like it a little bit better now. Not even because of the shitty Disney Star Wars, just in general. I'm trying to think, what else, man? Okay. How are we looking with this? We gonna fill up? I mean, we're like halfway, right? There's no way you're supposed to fill this bar up and get every single piece of green energy on the map, right? There's no fucking way. That would be completely... That would be... asinine wouldn't even begin to describe that, right? I feel like I've definitely hit these before. But it's also feeling like there's a lot less now. Alright, so I'll just drive around all... Wait, hold on. What's this one over here? Same shit? Hold up. That's smoking? Oh, he has a camp here. You know what it is? Does he give you some shit? That's what this is. He has his own little side missions.
Samus, please, join me.
As a fellow hunter.
Comfortable. This belonged to my father. We used to sit around a fire just like this, telling stories. He always spoke of Solon. Are you familiar? Solon sits atop the sky. Solon provides equal light to all. Solon is always watching over us. That is why we must not bring shame to Solon. I have made mistakes, many mistakes. But through Solon's light, I find balance. Thank you for indulging me. I've missed these campfire stories.
Yeah, you just yapped the whole time.
Samus, have you seen some of the pieces of the Federation base that were teleported here? I believe this will be of use to you.
Oh, finally. Here we go.
This.
Missile expand. He just has it. Okay, so you just have to talk to him. Okay.
Sharing this fire reminds me of my father and his stories of Solon.
Okay.
May Solon watch over you.
Yeah, they're not coming back. I don't think. Right? You know what this is. It's going to be required to get so many of these to get the true ending, isn't it? It's going to be just like Hunters. This game really should have just been called Metroid Prime Hunters, but Silux is barely even in the fucking game. I feel like there's a lot of missed identity with this game. I can only imagine what went on at Retro Studios and Bamco before this. Like, what in the fuck actually happened during the development of this game? It feels like a game that was taken in 3 different directions, whether they wanted a classic Metroid Prime, or they wanted to change it up and try something new. I really had to come back for this, by the way. And I can't for the life of me understand, like, some of the decisions that they made in this game. Which makes me wonder, are they even going to get to a Prime 5? Are we going to get a true ending and then maybe like a little bit of a lead-in? Because for a game that was kind of promised to be about Psylux, there is a suspicious lack of Psylux. Like, there's 2 fights, but remember, even in Prime 2, where like Dark Samus is a huge portion of the game, even in Prime 2, you see Dark Samus. Dark Samus does a lot of things. She's mining Phazon, right? She's blowing up stuff. She's leaving puddles everywhere. And then she blows up the bridge at Sanctuary Fortress after your first visit. But even then, there's other things going on. And that's a very linear game, because I don't think you could get to any of these side areas early. This is gonna sound stupid, but like, if you had a portion of the game where there was no Varia suit and you could like run through to another area, I think that would be actually pretty cool. It just narratively didn't make sense in Other M. It's like, well, why would you have the upgrade and not use it and literally cook yourself to death out of loyalty for this dude? This didn't even make sense. It's got to be one of those. You probably need a set amount to get the true ending. Now, I don't know. Is it going to loop over and become red? I don't know. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive around. If I can get this guy to spawn at another campfire, then I will go back and do it. But otherwise, I'll just ride around for like a little bit. And I'll like I said, I'll go get something to eat. I'll just chill for a bit, so. Alright, let's do it. Okay, I'll restart this just in case a cutscene starts when I walk in here. I'd like to not progress if I can, because I want to see if putting all these crystals in actually does anything. Yeah, I knew this was going to happen.
Found the missing pieces.
Played enough video games.
That was everything I needed to fix Betsy. You know, the mech. She is good to go.
Excellent work, Samus.
With the mech repaired, we'll be able to destroy the force field around Chrono Tower.
Yeah, we're gonna want to be careful with that. Just saying I had to get a little creative with those repairs. Yeah, I can only guarantee about 80% functionality.
Oh, just 80%. That's good, Gearhead.
We trust you.
We can leave for Chrono Tower whenever you give the order, Samus. You ready?
Alright, that sounds to me like the end of the game, so no.
Greetings, Hunter.
Can you go back out? I need this guy to go back out hunting or whatever, so he can set up and give me another missile tank. Okay. Let's see if this does anything. I don't know if it will. I really don't want to have to drive around getting these. Do you get a second memory fruit? No change. Okay, I think we're done then. Right? Green energy crystals have been successfully deposited. Green energy crystals can continue to be offered until it becomes completely full. Does that literally mean every green crystal in the game? Because now I'm going to be, like, insanely curious. Like, do I have to, or is the memory fruit the last thing you need to get? Is that 100%? Is driving through every single crystal in the overworld?
Welcome back. See ya.
Because we're basically at the end of the game. We walked the mech over there, but is it worth it? Like, do you get anything from it? I have no idea. I mean, I don't know. We need to get Tokabi to give us the other items anyway, so we're gonna try to run out. I also would like to find the last energy tank, and probably the only way I could do that, because we've already... Is there a scout bot in Fury Green? I don't think so, but moreover, I don't know. So what we'll do is we'll walk into Fury Green and hit that statue, because now we have super missiles and power bombs. Ugh. I don't know. I don't know if we need to get every single crystal, or if it's just enough and the game just doesn't respawn them, man. Okay. Walk in, super missile, walk out. Super missile and or power bomb. You remember when we were running down that damn tunnel? This is the closest we have to it now. I mean, the transitions are fun. I like these. These are cool. Someone's gonna start doing this in Blender, and that's gonna scratch my itch so much. That's like some of the best parts of the game, is Samus just doing Samus things. Okay. There's nothing to slam into it, right? Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Power bomb. After all that, it's a power bomb upgrade. There's probably 9 in the game then. Alright. I don't know if Fury Green has a scout bot. Oh, and I guess the only other thing that we didn't do is we didn't go back to Flare Pool, the boss room. You could drive back into that. So I wonder if there's maybe anything in there. Maybe a power bomb in there as well. Ugh. That would be like one of the last things I'd want to do. I don't know how to make Tokabi move. Maybe you have to zone areas. So let's see if he's at either the GF wreckage or at that other spot. Because that's all it is. He just gives you items at those spots. There's nothing else to find there. Man, I really wish, I don't know, man. Like, I just don't even think they should show it until he's ready to be there. Or you could just have a pop-up that says this will become available at a later time. Look, I am all for video games, you know, breaking, you know, kayfabe and just saying, like, listen, you can't do this now. I'm all for that if it saves you time. Because, like, otherwise I'm going to sit here and do that. Try to figure out, well, maybe it's something I'm not seeing or I'm not doing, you know? No, it's just he's not ready to move there yet. No, he's not here yet. Oh no, he's gonna call me every 5 minutes for this. No way! I have to go back to base camp. I would have never figured it out, guys. I don't know, dude. It's not like I was there and actively said no. What also means is very straightforward, man. Like, I liked how, yes, like the beginning area is also the gateway to the end of the game. You know, that's obviously like a cool, really, you have to come back for this itty bitty piece of shit, like for real, dude. I kind of like that, but, you know, also, I kind of was hoping for more. I think that's the biggest thing, is it's, again, and I will say this is not a bad game by any measure, right? It just doesn't really stack up to the Titan that's the first game, and the intricacies of the second game. And I feel like it's because it's more like the third game than anything else. Like, it might have bits and pieces of the first game in it, but that's pretty much where the similarities end, I would argue. That's unfortunate. Again, I still stand by what I said earlier. I'd rather have more games than not, but also, like, I'd rather have something of substance, you know, something more. Something just to really make this memorable. And this will be memorable to me purely because I did a playthrough of it. That's why this will be memorable. You could say that about a lot of games, though. Like, if I do a playthrough on it, I'm probably going to remember it way more than if I didn't do a playthrough. I mean, at this point, I've done this for how many years, you know? Like, it's almost part of the practice of me playing new games. Because what this really feels like is someone was really proud of the bike. And I mean, you know, it controls well. It's pretty good. Right? We had a couple good segments with the bike. But to me, what it sounds like is they just really, 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 really want you to use the bike. And they don't really give you a good description of all the stuff. So do you need to get all the crystals to get 100%? I feel like I could probably Google this. I don't think anyone would be really angry at me if here at the end of the game I was like, okay, well, do you really need to get 100%? Or do you really need all these crystals? Or is this just extra just so you could drive around? I think that's a pretty fair thing to ask at this point. Okay, yes, I know. Oh my god, you're so evil to show me base camp after I literally walked out of base camp. Let's see. Let's see. We already have the legacy suit. Do you need all the green crystals? No one knows. No one has a direct answer for it. Okay. I don't think so. Like, I'm looking on, like, Games Radar. You get a new suit. You get a smash with weapons. Like, I don't think so. I don't know. It's like, there can't just be no reason to fill this thing up to max, right? Like, why would they do that? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I'll probably just drive around. I'll fill it up to blue, and I'll figure it out. I'll be back in a while. Alright, here. I found his second location. He just sets up camp. So that one that we found at the start of the game is actually the last one that we find. So now, who put this in? Like, what? Is this going to be like some major plot reveal?
Nice to see you again. I was born on the fourth moon of Saladin, in the northern reaches. Resources were scarce, and each day was a struggle to survive. By my generation, it was difficult to support the family by hunting, so I joined the Federation. I don't know if this was in line with Solon and my father's way, but I had to do it to feed our family. So from hunter, I became sniper. It's strange. My words flow so easily around you.
I love you.
Before you go, Samus, it looks like there's a few ruins in this valley. I found something near one of them.
Wait, really? There are? Alright, shot expansion.
Good hunting, Samus.
And then what I'll do, since I already kind of Googled some anyways, I'll just Google where the scout bots are. I think that's like a fair thing to do as well. I guess we might as well just complete this game 100%, fully finish it off, and then that way no one can say that I missed out on something, or I didn't do this, or I didn't do X, Y, and Z. We'll get everything done, and then that way no one can complain. We'll do all of it. I don't really care about the time. This is not really a game that I'm going to probably play a whole bunch of, I'll be honest with you. Maybe in like a couple years I might do a second playthrough. And part of that is my nostalgia, but, you know, it's just... It's not bad. It's like, what were the design decisions behind it, you know? I'm really gonna scratch my head in the shower about all these crystals that you're supposed to gather. And for the life of me, I still can't figure out for like what purpose, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I am going to go back to Flare Pool. I am going to look in that one room. I have to look up where the scout bot is. In fact, maybe I should do that. Yeah, let's actually do that first. What's over here? Like, look at this. And I guess just I'll ramble while I slightly meander my way over. Is I think one of the biggest things about Prime 1 is that just in 2002, right? So this is not even Half-Life. Half-Life 2 isn't even out yet, right? Maybe they're talking about it. Maybe there's a rumor. Half-Life 2 isn't even out yet at this point, right? In 2002, a random, I don't know if I should say completely random, but a Texas studio was given the rights to one of Japan's most well-guarded and beloved IPs. And what did they do with it? On the eve and on the heels, 8 years after one of the most iconic games in its genre, literal genre-defining, like, masterpiece, well, I'd argue that they made their own genre-defining masterpiece, you know? And they took their inspiration from games like GoldenEye, right? They took their inspiration from all these other games, and it worked out. You know, people love Metroid Prime. It has such a beloved fan base. Since I was a kid, I have always loved Metroid Prime. It's the first game I ever made any amount of content for on the internet. Coming home with that dazzle, putting in Metroid Prime into my GameCube, just because I know the game. Oh, great, here we go, by the way. All right, at least it's just the birds. The birds aren't that bad. And then Prime 2 just, you know, ups the ante years later. So I think... Oh, is that boost? I think that's probably one of the biggest sins that this game commits. Is that it doesn't... It feels like every lesson that you would have taken from Prime 2 and Prime 3 was not heeded, right? Prime 2, Prime 3, even Prime 1 have an interconnected world, right? The world will now, you know, like the whole world feels flowing. You know, have a bunch of varieties of enemies. Like, was there even a single Magmor clone? You know, and like, obviously, you know, the war wasps are in here, the patrolling insect bugs are in here, you know. But there's none of the real innovation, you know. Multiple games are good, but it would be nice if you combined all the best aspects of a previous game. Oh, is he there? No, yeah, no, I was just here. Yeah, I was just here. It would be nice if you combined all the previous aspects. So, like, Prime 2, I think, suffers not necessarily from high difficulty. I would say this game is still pretty hard, right? I think it's fair to say that this game is pretty reasonably difficult. Maybe. Kind of. Okay, I gotta go back. I think Pikmin 4 genuinely innovated harder than this game. And if you know anything about Pikmin 4 discourse on the internet, people are shitting on that game's mouth, man. They are absolutely brutal to Pikmin 4. And I think they are unfair for Pikmin 4, right? The way that they go about what Pikmin 4 did. I think they're being unfair. I'm just being honest. I think Pikmin 4 is fine. Like I said, I don't expect Prime 2 and Pikmin 2 level difficulty ever again. But I could see them being more brutal to this game. I think that they could be absolutely brutal to this game, and I kind of agree. I think what Pikmin 4 tried to do was have a more tight, concise setup in a game where there's effectively 100 multiple possible outcomes and things that could happen, right? Like Prime, you just kind of shoot things, but you know, maybe you bring the wrong kinds of Pikmin, right? Maybe you're locked out of content, right? Maybe Ochi isn't, you know, so it makes sense that they probably didn't want to give people literal headaches trying to figure all this shit out. And I understand, like, I get why they did it. But I think the unfortunate fact of the matter is that in doing so, they kind of defanged a lot of that trial and error. Now, and as I said, I'm the #1 Pikmin lover, Pikmin 2 lover. Man, some of those sub-levels are impossible. Man, they will literally, there's one of them, it might be Frontier Cavern, they will spawn a Bulbair on top of you. Tough shit, reset the game. You know, and even when I was doing the playthrough, I was resetting, you know, that's just how Pikmin 2 is, you know. It's not perfect, and neither is Pikmin 4, but it at least tries to emulate that feel. You know, it tries to pretend to be Pikmin 2, you know, in like an alternate timeline, right? Like you know, we redo it a little bit. What is this game trying to emulate? You know, what Metroid Prime game is this trying to do? Because it feels like it tries to juggle all three, and you know what happens when you try to be the master of multiple things. You become the master of none. And I think that's probably the biggest takeaway, is that they tried to have it be Prime 3, they tried to have it be Prime 1, and then they tried to take some things from Prime 2, and ultimately I just think you're going to end up with a Metroid game that, A, doesn't really feel like one. I think what they could have done with the overworld was add, you know like what happens in the Sonic games where they add stuff in the overworld as you play, like what happened with Frontiers. They could have done that, you know, like things kind of come out of temporal flux the more that you progress through the game. You know, that could have been like an interesting way to extend the overworld's lifespan rather than just drive through crystals. Because there's no way this wasn't a complaint in QA. There's no way that someone did not tell them, hey, this seems like a really fucking dumb idea. That didn't happen. There's no way someone didn't tell them that. So my only assumption is that they knew and they just kind of crossed their fingers, and they just needed to get the game out by this season. And this is not 06. This is not Sonic 06. This is not Sonic Frontiers, even. But it does kind of reek to me that they knew they needed this game to be out. Like, maybe they had their feet held to the fire. Maybe someone was like, you know, boot to the neck, like, listen, this is what's going to happen. You know, this game needs to come out. So they just kind of had it filled with stuff. And we can't even get all of it, I don't think, because that's probably on the other side. And I think that's the biggest problem, is that when you have a game that more or less equals, I don't know if stagnation would be the word, but familiarity is good. Everyone loves a game that feels familiar. Thank you. But, you know, I think that Metroid Prime 1 and 2 do a very great job of setting up, listen, the end goal of the game is to do this, right? The end goal of this game is to find the Sky Temple keys. Now, where are the Sky Temple keys? Well, don't worry, you don't need a guide for it. It's in the game, scan everything, and that's why I regard the scanning as one of the most innovative things that they've ever put in a video game. It was a completely natural, in-universe way to explain things that you otherwise wouldn't need to have, you wouldn't know. You know, you could believe that Samus's computer maybe infers certain things, right? It does like a brief, you know, analysis of the enemy to tell her, hey, you know, deep inside its stomach is its weak point. I don't know, right? Fuck it, whatever, right? Whatever we need to do, whatever we need to say to kind of cope it, right? It works. It makes sense logically, right? Like, hey, the supercomputer of the power suit will do this. You know? And like, I could see how some of the things would work out in this game, but not the way they did it. Like, there's no way that, like, it's not, the year isn't like 92 anymore, right? Like, Nintendo's not in a bubble anymore. So they have to know that their games are going to get treated with the same hammer. And, you know, Zelda, and this is unfortunate right here, let's get into the unfair part. Zelda and Kirby and Pokemon and Mario could come out and just do fuck all, and people will still love it and they'll still buy it because it has the name Zelda, Mario, Pokemon, or Kirby. That's just, and this is going to sound rough, and I hate it. That's just life. It's unfortunate. Like I said earlier, people just don't want to play games that try them and push them. And I'm not saying that means, you know, oh, well, you have to go play fucking StarCraft or something. But, you know, like, people just won't try Metroid. For whatever reason, one way or another, Metroid is doomed to always be a tier 2 Nintendo franchise. And, like, Pikmin might be able to break in a little bit more because it has that cutesy factor. But do you think you're going to see any of these people who are not, I don't want to say not gamers, right? But, you know, not very hardcore, play Pikmin 2? You know? You really think you're going to see anyone try to figure that shit out? Probably not. Like, you're probably going to have 90% of the people that ever will play Pikmin 2 have probably already long since played it. And at this point, it might just be people who might buy the new Pikmin game. Maybe they have a little bit of spare cash. They might go back and buy some of the older games. Maybe play them for a bit, never finish them. Unless they want to post about it on, like, Reddit or Instagram, or I don't know what people fucking do nowadays, right? Blogs or whatever. You know? And I think that's probably one of the things that just, you know, we as the players have to accept that, right? We're never going to get Kaizo tier fucking games anymore. But also, like, Nintendo has to understand, like, you have to kind of do that a little bit. You know, you kind of have to have that a bit. And I was going to do Pikmin 4 Deathless regardless, right? Like that, the minute they introduced the rewind feature, I was like, yeah, I could just do a Deathless run. And a Deathless Pikmin run doesn't mean anything. It's just time wasting, basically. It's like you do it just for proof that you can do it. You know, it's not like you're required to do it. That does way too much damage, by the way. But this is almost like what I would expect, like, Zelda 128's overworld to be like a little bit, you know? If Zelda 128 ever came out, this is kind of what I would expect the overworld to be. You know, like, even, and this is, I'm going to be very, very unfortunate with this, even Pokemon Sword and Shield, you know, when you go outside of Modestoke, or whatever they call fake fucking London, when you go outside of Modestoke, and you drive, you know, you're running around, there's Pokemon, there's things to see, there, you know, it's empty, right? It looks terrible, which is the bigger issue, but it is still, like, things to do. Like, driving around breaking crystals should be an optional side thing that you do just from point A to point B. It should not be the primary goal and drive that you do in the game. Needless to say. Okay, we almost have a full second level. I think we could all understand that, right? Like, I'm not even trying to get actual lead here. Like, I'm genuinely, like, trying to make that connection, right, by comparing it to other games. Like, Xenoblade will populate the overworld with tons of enemies, right? So that's a more battle-focused game, right? Metroid is like an exploration game, right? That's why people don't call Metroid Prime a real first-person shooter. I've seen it get called a first-person action game more than anything. I generally think these are the worst enemies, by the way. Not hardest, but just the most annoying to kill. Sometimes. And don't get it wrong, Metroid Prime 1 has a lot of problems. That bomb jump shit is annoying, and it gets exacerbated in Prime 2, which makes it even more baffling that L does not jump. And there's no camera control in Morph Ball mode. That's a lesser problem. The lack of jumping is the bigger problem, by far. That is actually... I have died because of that on Spider Guardian and Caretaker Drone. But that said, like, I don't want to be a doomer, and I don't want to... Because you know I'll shit on a fucking game. I've ended playthroughs with rants and curses and all kinds of stuff. And so it becomes hard, I feel, for me to say, like, yeah, it's not that bad, it's good. It's good. That's about it. It's the border of good. And not have people, like, immediately, like, lose their fucking minds. I think you can say that something, it was an experience, you played it, it was fun, and then you moved on. Which is unfortunately how it seems a lot of companies are developing games. I don't know if they're, you know, knowing that they can cook or just don't want to cook anymore. but it seems to me like that era where like every game was this magical, life-altering experience is probably going to come to an end. And like, I'm the first person to say I love that era because that's the era I kind of grew up in a little bit. You know, like for me, I would expect a Metroid Prime game, and this might be ballsy, this might be easier said than done, literally, but I would expect a Metroid Prime game with like 10 areas, you know? If you're gonna have the classical elemental areas, let's put 10 areas in the fucker, you know? 10 areas, and then a final area. And like, yeah, you're gonna have your typical Metroid areas. Look, man, I'm not a fucking idiot. You're gonna have your typical Metroid areas, you know? You're gonna have your lava, your ice, your ruins, your forest, Sanctuary. Dude, Sanctuary Fortress might be the best designed area ever. I love it so much. That is such a great area. But that's my point, right? Like, you have all these different areas and all these different things. I think that would be nice. You kind of just mix it up a bit. This is like the equivalent of if Wind Waker forced you to do everything, to get every item, to sail around. No, Wind Waker takes longer. That's not fair. And to be fair, those were the most controversial parts of those games. The artifact hunt, because some people are just completely anti-backtracking, right? I disagree with it. I think that the spirit of backtracking is that you go off to another area or two, you get a bunch of items, you come back, now you can interface with the world a lot better, right? Like there's different things you can get, right? More areas to explore. Like I don't hate backtracking because of that. I think that backtracking can be a very meaningful part of a game. I think that's a mindset thing. But you know, like that's what I'm saying. Like it needs to be a meaningful part, right? It can't just be ride through crystals. Now, maybe I'm fucking around and maybe I'm doing this horrifically wrong and maybe you don't have to. But then it would just say artifact filled, you can't fill it anymore. So that's why I'm operating under this assumption that you need to get everything from the overall. This is the worst enemy pairing, by the way. God, I hate you. And he falls off in the horizon. That's probably why we're never going to get like another Mario 64 style game. Because you need to put in that like, hey, here's the thing to help you find all the stuff. Like Spyro put it in the Reignited. Even in Spyro fucking 2. What year is Spyro 2? 99? Even in Spyro 2, they knew that they should put that in. It was probably the biggest complaint of Spyro 1. Hey, there's a gem somewhere and I have no idea where it is. And I don't want to spend 10 minutes running through the level to try to figure out where it is. Spyro 3 makes it unlockable, which is totally understandable. Like, I get it. You want people to play the game through and then get it. Now I just want to play Spyro. Wait a minute, I can play Spyro again. Yeah, because I don't have any save data on this Switch. Wait a minute. Am I a genius? I'm gonna buy a new Steam account, or I'm gonna make a new Steam account just to buy games again. That's gonna be really funny. I'm not actually gonna do that. I wish you could relock achievements. I feel like that would be fun. Could you imagine if I could relock achievement? No, that's kind of just a me thing. I wouldn't do that. All right, let's go into Flare Pool. I'm gonna look up where the stupid scout bot is, so that way I could just finish Flare Pool, because we've done everything else. We've cleaned up every single area in this game. So let me look at where the scout bot is for Flare Pool. I'll do it on the loading screen. Take a break from breaking crystals, since now I've made it a part of the playthrough. Maybe I should put titles in the videos. I could go back and do that. Part 1, intro plus Green Fury. What is it called again? Fury Green, excuse me. And then there is a scout bot in Fury Green. I remember, it's in one of the rooms. You have to walk over it. Alright, here. Metroid Prime 4, Flare, Pool, Scout, Bot. Because I don't remember where the fuck it is. Soul Valley, Fury Green, Volt Forge, Ice Belt. Where is it? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. It is in the entrance. Okay, I fucked up. Like, that's a cool system. I have nothing bad to say about the Scout Bot system. What I do have to say is that the fact that every area is pretty much a one-off, right? Now, that's not very cash money. You could go a long way making bigger maps. And I will give Prime 2 that. It did have some pretty big maps. Like, in all fairness, Prime 2 did have some pretty big maps. It's one of the best parts about it. Here it is. Scout Bot. You have to scan everything constantly too, which is kind of silly. Yeah. Very nice. Well, there's something right here. Oh, there's a lot in the boss room. Okay. Damn. Well, we basically have to go back through the facility. This is probably all the remaining upgrades. Here we go. Did we scan this? No, we did not. Tether node. That's it. Then we have all research. We're missing all the Lemorne Legacy. I have no idea where that is. Shot expansion. Let's go into the boss area first then. I think what needs to be studied more is what makes some of these other games just so good at what they do, you know? Who were the people that made them the way that they did? Okay, where are we looking? It's in the air. Ah! Where? Oh, is that it? Are you serious? It's not in the air. It's next to it. Another one here over on the right. Past it. Oh, it's just on the lava. Okay, there's nothing special about it. Were these maybe power-ups that were up top that I didn't get, or do they only spawn down here? I don't know. It's possible that maybe they just make it so they're not missable. I don't know, though. Ow. Energy tank. Oh. Well, yeah, I knew something was gonna come out. It's a blog! That's all. Okay, we already scanned it. It's the sturdiest one of its kind. Dude, what in the fuck? I hit it with no aim. I just threw it. There. Thank you, good sir. I'll be taking that. So everything else is what? Just beams and missiles? Okay. Alright, well, we're done down here, so we gotta run through the area one time and pick up everything else. And then basically what I would do is I would do a playthrough of this game where I just look, or I have a Google Doc open and I say, hey, this area requires this and this to get this item. Because I could do that myself. This game is not that complicated. Look, I say this about every game. Pokemon, Zelda, Metroid, I think every area should be open. I think that every dungeon should have multiple ways to get around, right? You're not just exploring one-off wings of the dungeon. Like, you're actually going to different places. What is that? Okay. We have to go up and around for that. Is this it? No, we have to get to the other side. What's up, guys? Half pipe? That's like a classic boost ball puzzle. Hey, you know, for what it's worth, I am glad that some of my most watched playthroughs are the Prime series. Because it's something I love. That I can't complain about. I'm always very happy about that. Because playing that trilogy when they released it on the Wii U was so fun. That was like chef's kiss. That was so good. Yep, nothing back there, so we're just going straight into the core. Ow. Bro. They do not stay frozen at all in this game. Okay. Thank you. Okay. What can I do in this room? There's an elevator. So yeah, no screw attack. It's looking like by the second and the minute it's looking like there's no screw attack. Okay. I gotta get rid of these dudes. Okay, there's a spider ball rail. Oh, right here. We do not go that way. Very nice. That's cool that you have to go back to the boss area. I actually kind of like that there's a, you know, the chase is whatever. I like that you have to go back to get an energy tank, which makes it very, very useful. Okay. There's one in the floor of the missile room. Yeah, you can't go back across the bridge. Okay. Each scanner must be active to unlock its security latch. Pull. Providing electrical charge. Where exactly? Oh, to its activation circuit. Okay. This here? It's a spinner. It's like the only time puzzle in the game. Alright, perfect. 20. Yeah, we haven't had like any time puzzles in this game. That's also been surprisingly absent. Oh boy. I mean, I'm just being fair. I've spent the last, like, however many hours. I've spent the last day, basically, only playing this game. By the way, when you do this, the left stick starts to look around. I'm not a huge fan of that. That's fine, though. Pull. Seal to be removed and slot activated only in the event of emergency. Simultaneous activation of the 3 target holograms will unlock it. It's a shame this is reserved only for, like, a little bit of a bonus at the end. That's kind of like a cool puzzle. Like, there are tools here to make interesting puzzles. Either doing things in sequence or having, like, big overarching puzzles that you could solve. There are good things here. It's just not really utilized in a very good manner. Dude, what the fuck? That scared the shit out of me. Other side. Did I tell you all I started making music playlists? One of my favorite music playlists that I made is Sad Boy Hours. Oh, you asshole. It's pretty good. That was like that slow Joe G, Steve Lacy. You know, you just kind of mess around, you know. I might only be several years and decades too late. These turrets are ridiculous, by the way. Look, I'm just running through, okay? You stop shooting me. Jesus, man. Can't jump. Good Lord. Yeah, I kind of hate that I have to fight these every time, but now that's a Prime thing for sure. Fighting the Chozo Ghost every 5 minutes is one of the worst parts of Chozo Ruins late game. Every time you enter a room, those fucking things spawn, and sometimes they lock the doors, so you have to kill them. That's an old game showing its age, for sure. Can't switch target. Thank you. This takes way too long in and of itself. He's stuck in the ground. I fucked him up. Okay, here we go. Cannot be moved. It can be destroyed with an explosive impact. Hey, look, something to grapple to. You cannot grapple to it right away. You have to scan it. And then the game will tell you you can grapple it. Told you. I'm not crazy. Okay. Now we are officially done. So what are we even missing at this point? We are missing 3 missile expansions. I think that's it for energy tanks, and maybe 2 power bombs. We're at 97. Okay. Right? I'm not missing anything. We have been very thorough this game, so I don't think so. And I don't think there's any items in Chrono Tower, so they must be in Green Fury. Fury Green. Green Fury. What the fuck? Isn't there a faster way out of here? Am I losing my mind? I don't even know anymore. Who cares? I already did this. Yeah, okay. Oh, it was the bomb slot. Oh my god, I forgot. Damn. Shit. That's what it was. It was the bomb slot. Help! Get me out of here. Oh no, they're gonna respawn. Quick, 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 quick. Oh yeah, this takes forever, by the way, and you're not immune. Isn't that great? Look at that. Very nice. Let's just leave. boy. Elevator, please. Elevator, 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 elevator. Thank you. You know, just take more time. Chill out, guys. I'll see you never. There's a turret on this side. Very nice. It sucks. Yeah, like, wouldn't it be nice if you could just go from one area to another area? You didn't have to do this, because I'm going to Fury Green. Like, either have fast travels, like, Samus Returns and Dread, or have the areas interconnect, or both. Doing neither of those is like a huge, huge L. That would be like the first thing I would think of, and that's why, you know, backtracking in Dread feels very fast-paced because of it. That's why killing them is pointless. Alright, well, at least we're done here. I probably made like 2 trips too many back here. Alright, well, back to crystal breaking. I think after this we'll swing by Fury Green. And then that'll be the conclusion. Because, Lord knows, I'm tired. More because I didn't really sleep well. I never sleep well. We're going to seriously miss 1 green crystal, and that's going to annoy the shit out of me. Yeah, I'm getting it to level 2. I can't imagine that there's a level 3. That would be disgusting. I will not do it. I will literally just go finish the game. There's no way. They would not be serious. Oh, you can barely even tell who it is. What? Okay, very nice. Shut up, dude! We know! That's hair pulling, man. Dude calls you more than your best friend. Do we get anything from these ones over here? I feel like these are just like little straggler bits. No, I don't think you really get anything. I mean, it's looking pretty empty right now. Okay, I lied. That was more to convince myself. I was about to pat myself on the back for a job well done. Okay. You know, after Mass Effect 2's awful mining minigame, I don't know how people glaze Mass Effect 2 so fucking much. That game is so fucking mid. That game, it's well done, it's polished, it's great. Man, it is terrible to replay. I don't know how people enjoy Mass Effect 2. 1 has such a better feeling of exploration, because it's more open-ended. Mass Effect 2 is like hidden story progression that they force you into certain missions. And moreover, the stupid credits system is completely destroyed compared to 1. I don't get that. I never understood why people thought Mass Effect 2 was better. They took a unique sci-fi third-person shooter RPG, and they literally turned around and said, okay, well, let's strip all the RPG shit out of it, and let's make everything linear. And, like, the budget is way bigger. I'm not gonna fucking lie. The budget's amazing. But one of the things I liked about Mass Effect 1 was all the builds you could create. I played Mass Effect 1 so much. That was one of the few games in my high school era that I played a shit ton of. Like it was a GameCube game. Like it was something from my childhood again. That is one of the few games to stand out in that manner. Because pretty much everything else at that point was finito. I was already making playthroughs. I was done. There's problems with Mass Effect 1. There's a couple glitches. The main thing is that when you New Game Plus, you have to make a new character to take advantage of the New Game Plus skills. So your first character is basically useless because you can never respec, and you can never change your bonus skill because you aren't given one because it's your first character. That sucks. That's one of those things I really wish that they had patched, but they always spoke about how they couldn't patch something in it. They couldn't patch something in Mass Effect 1 that was like a really fatal bug. Or was it the Thane glitch in Mass Effect 2? They talked about how they couldn't patch it, and it still exists in the Legendary Edition, to my knowledge. So it's just a feature of Mass Effect 2 that if you don't do one specific Renegade action, this guy just talks and yaps endlessly, and you get stuck, and then you fail the mission because of it. And no one tested it or changed it or whatever. You know what it is? There's some bugged flag. What is it? The Conrad Werner glitch. That's what they were talking about. Because in Mass Effect 1, no matter how you deal with Conrad, the game acts as if you did the Intimidate option, even if it was impossible for your character to do it because you have only Paragon. And so because of that, the Conrad Werner bug persists in Mass Effect 2, and instead of patching it, which I don't know how much I believe them in their whole whatever. I don't know if they fixed it in the Legendary. They probably didn't. Okay, is this everything? And it is not. Maybe there's something I missed in another section of the Great Desert, as I'm gonna call it. This is like what I would expect out of a Zelda game that's kind of trying to be Wind Waker, but instead of an ocean, it's a desert. But yeah, they never fixed the Conrad Werner bug. I don't think they fixed any of the critical bugs in Mass Effect with the Legendary Edition. They just bundled them all together so it's easier to play them all. And they rebalanced Mass Effect 3 with the whole EMS system, which, to be fair, never should have been in the fucking game anyway. That was like, Mass Effect 3 was an early example of EA doing EA things to ruin EA games. So like, you have an online mode that you have to play in a single-player franchise to get the best ending. You're incentivized to spend real money to unlock characters loot box style. Like everything about Mass Effect 3 would later be used for pretty much every EA game and then every game outside of EA afterwards. And it's really just sad because it doesn't need to be that way at all. Like Dead Space 3 is a game that's just completely schizophrenic. It wants to be 5 different things all at once. It wants to be a co-op shooter, an action game, a survival horror game. It wants to do like at least 3, if not 4 things all together. Maybe 5 was a little high. And it sucks because you know the game suffered because of it, because EA corpos wouldn't leave them alone. What a shame. Alright, last scene.
Samus, have you already seen the rebels from the Federation base? Seeing that reminds me of my job. Ever heard of Herc Unit Delta? Come rest. Quietly eliminating threats to keep planets on the fringe safe, unknown to everyone. That is the job. And in return for my service, I would get paid, just like a bounty hunter. You are also a bounty hunter.
Wow.
You fight for a greater purpose, alone, overcoming death and continuing to fight, only you can do. Here, a gift. I pulled it out from under the debris.
Damn, a power bomb expansion. Okay. That's it? Damn, that cutscene felt really weird the way it cut off.
Take a moment. Feel the rhythm of the wind. It reminds me of my home.
See, I like Tokabi. I think he's reasonably well written, reasonably well fleshed out. And he, more than anyone, understands that you don't yap that much. You just get right to the point. Alright, well, we've seen and done everything, so the only thing left to do is to go to Fury Green, right? I mean, allegedly, I'm missing some, so maybe I'll do, like, one final lap. And if I can't find anything on the radar, guys, I quit. I give up. I'm just gonna move on with the game, and just whatever happens, happens. This is like some shit they would put in, like, a fringe software game. You know, like some kind of game they would just dump out just because they know kids will buy it, right? Kids will want to play it maybe or whatever. That's what this really feels like. Oh shit. You know, you ever play a game where it's like, hey, you need to do all this weird stuff to get the true ending, and it's like, dude, are you for real? Resident Evil does that a little bit. You have to know to get the MO discs at the end of the game. And honestly, I haven't played that game in so long, I forget where to get the MO discs. It's on my guide, but I really should game faxify that shit too. I'll do it again on Xbox, that's for sure. Nope. Oh, that's a spot on my screen. I'm like turning to see where this ore is. That's just a little smudge on my screen. This is an old TV. I've had this TV since the Ground Zeroes playthrough. That was the first playthrough I think I did on it. Because I used to work on a Dell XP monitor. That actually died, I think, a couple years ago. Funnily enough. Well, there has to be enough to be able to fill in all this. I just don't know where. Alright, well, we'll make our way over. I hope there's not random, like, green energy in some of these areas, because I'm gonna fucking lose it, man. I swear I'll lose it. There's no dots. That's it. The desert is completely empty. We have completely drained the desert of all green energy. You know, it's not... No, I lied. It's like Castlevania. Castlevania will do this, for sure. I'm just ranting at this point. But Castlevania will have a ridiculous set of criteria you need to do to get the real ending. The actual happy ending. Usually Castlevania, like, blue balls you. Oh, you didn't do this, this, and this? Well, you get the bad ending, and there's no way to know that there's another one. The most I'll say that they clue you in, maybe, is they're like... One of the main characters will be like, damn, I wish there was any other way I could have possibly ended this. If only there was some way I could have saved her. God damn. Okay, there's nothing over here. Yeah, we've drained it. That's it. Alright, Fury Green. Whoops. You know, we never really used that ability either. Yeah, I wonder where the last bit of green energy is. I don't know. At this point, it seems like we're never going to know either. Alright, we're going to walk in this time. Just this whole green energy shit probably could have been done differently and done much better. Alright, we're gonna walk in. Okay. Oh, stairs again. Okay, that sounded spooky.